Alright, hello YouTube. Guys, this is going to get pretty intense and very real. I'm trying to figure out how to word this so I don't completely blow my stack and lose my mind here. Everything. If you believe in God, everything that is within every fiber of your being needs to be God first and everything else second. Right now, more importantly than ever. I'm going to start with these Olympic Games. Thank goodness the majority of the people that have any degree of damn sense in the boxing community and combat sport community are speaking against what we saw in those opening games at the Olympics. Vigorously, mind you, very vigorously. I would suggest and I would hope that that only grows and intensifies. Now, the guy we like to watch, he's a funny guy. He's a Latino. He goes, he's speaking English. He'll go into a little tirade in Spanish and jump back over. It's a good channel. It's a funny channel. It's Punch Drunk Boxing. That's the channel, Punch Drunk Boxing. He did a video. I believe it went out this morning. At least that's when I saw it. And he said some things that make sense. He said, you guys are calling Ryan Garcia crazy, yet look at what happened over there in Paris. And if you don't know, look up the opening to the Olympics in Paris 2024 this year. It was some sick shit. Some sick shit. He made a statement that was ever so true, and I believe I addressed it in a video yesterday in a smaller way. Every single one of the athletes from any Christian nation, every single one of the Christian or so-called Christian athletes need to walk the hell off. I told you, Joe just turned 16 or he would have been sitting over there. A couple of years older, he would have been over there. It would have been him. And I guarantee you what would happen was, guarantee you this, because had I even said, no son, we need to stay, he would have said, I ain't doing it. First thing that came out of his mouth. Glad I wasn't at the age for these Olympics, Dad, because I would have walked out. I would have walked off. I wouldn't have walked in after that opening. And I'm like, I've done a good job as a daddy. That was the first thought that hit my brain. And I said, son, I wouldn't have wanted you to. We would have been walking in unison together. Then he proceeded to say, every one of those skunks that are sitting over there and are competing, and everybody that's going, oh, well, it'll hurt them. Those people ain't getting it. And he said it would be a pleasure to face any one of them from any country later on in a few years and completely bash them the hell in. He's got a good attitude. If you don't understand that, you got a bad attitude. He's got a good heart. If you don't understand that, you got a bad heart. We got about 0.5% to 1% of the population called the elites, the establishment, the deep state, the globalists, whatever the hell you want to call them, dictating and pushing satanic filth all over us. Just pure satanic filth. And we up in here ain't cottoning to it. It's that damn simple. And if half of you half-assed Christians out there would crack a Bible open, you'd understand probably in your lifetime they're going to come around with a chopping block and try to get you to deny Christ. And you're going to have to be like the first Christians and say, chop it on off. For the first 300 years of Christianity, Christians went up on the chopping block and their heads were soaked in oil and they lit the streets of Rome for almost 300 years because they would not deny Christ. Will you stand up for Christ? Will you? I hear all this bullshit coming out of so many channels. Would you get up and leave your children and fight for Christ? There's going to be a little war coming up here towards the end if you care to read a Bible. And half you jackasses, most of you jackasses, not half of you, you pile up in pretty little buildings, sitting in pretty little chairs on the pretty little carpet, looking up at the pretty little stage and all the nice, beautiful, clean stuff. And you give money for that, and you're giving because you're expecting something in return. God to double or triple or seven it. You ain't a Christian. And it's because of you. See, this is because of us Christians that this has happened. We've allowed it to happen. Because we've sat back, we've listened to this bullshit of people telling us we need to be complacent. Christ is love. He is. You better believe that. But he ain't a love that we understand fully. You have to understand that same Christ flooded the earth, and you either believe the Bible or you don't. That's what Christ was telling these damned fools, religious fools in his day when they approached him. He said, you don't believe the beginning. See, all this millions of years, ain't nothing new under the sun. All these people and religious people were saying, well, the world wasn't really created in 6 days and God rests on the seventh. And Christ's reply to their bullshit was, you are of your father, Satan. You are not of the God of Isaac, Jacob, and Abraham, and Moses. And they weren't, and they're not today. And you ain't today if you don't believe it. Now there's going to be those of you that's saying, well, oh, he's so mean. Am I really? They're out here, these people, trying to sexualize your children, trying to encourage that your children, and let me tell you about a big man today, and I don't believe he really believes in Jesus. I think he believes that Jesus existed, but let me tell you somebody who's probably bigger than those of you that sit in your fancy church, live in your fancy houses, worried about your fancy stuff. Let me tell you something. Elon Musk told the truth the other day. If you ain't seen it, you need to go look. My son is dead, he said. Now, why would he say his son was dead? He said, I was fooled psychologically and allowed these sick, evil people to fool my little boy into a sex change. I don't have a son no more. He's dead. And this happened really to Elon because he didn't have God. He didn't have the God, Christ. Something's afoot here. Over there in England, 2 Muslims run rampant through the fucking airport, beating people up, beating women up. And the cops come up, and you really ain't gonna like what I'm fixing to say. Two of the cops, there's 3 cops, only 1 man is the cop, because you got to have the diversity and inclusion bullshit. So the male cop almost gets his skull cracked. A woman gets her face cracked. She gets hit 1 time, she's out of commission. Had it been 3 guys go up in there and that 3 male cops go up there in that airport, it wouldn't have went this way. The 1 cop, as she's running back, because she can't do shit, tases one of the Islamic men, they fall, and the cop kicks the Islamic guy while he's down on the ground. And oh, they're discriminatory against Islam people. Get the fuck out of here with this stupid bullshit. Independently think. The press is going to kill you. They are all evil and satanic. The other day, only guy in the fucking room that had the balls to say something about it. For those of you that don't know, generally daily in the White House, there's a press briefing and there's a bunch of reporters in a little bitty room, and the press secretary will come up and he or she will answer questions. The guy from Fox News stood up and said, why are you handing us this slip with what we are to, as people in the press, the television, and the radio and the magazines, what we are to say and not to say about Kamala Harris or the Democrats? Now they're saying, oh, the Democrats leaked this. It was an accident. It was no accident, folks. There was no accident. They've always been telling the press what they can say and the news what they can say and what they can't say. And it's sickening. It is sickening. And anybody, look folks, Tommy Robinson, they had a huge, probably the most patriotic day and get together in London since World War II. There was a lot of love going on there. And the guy that orchestrated it and helped plan it and kicked it off, you know where he's at today? And it was a peaceful thing. It wasn't even really a protest. It was a get-together. You know, it was a protest in the sense, hell no, we're not going to take this bullshit anymore. You're stealing our money. You're bringing all these Tom, Dick, and Harrys across the border who are killing and raping our women and our children, and we don't want it. Guess who's sitting in jail under their terrorism act? Tommy Robinson. Look up there in Washington, D.C. Look at Grand Central Station. Look all across New York. These weirdo satanic people are tearing everything down, and nobody's doing next to nothing about it. And I'm here to tell you, until we stand up and you can't stop violence with kind words, folks. Hate to tell you this. I've been dealing with helping people that have been bullied for a long time. That's something I take pleasure in doing, is defending a kid and saying, now go in there and just crack them. Go crack them. And they do. And it's a good feeling. And I never told a kid, go up and tell them, hey, whatever I did to offend you, whatever I do, whatever is with me, whatever I believe, I'll change me for you, so you stop hurting me. I ain't never told. And that's what the governments are asking us to do. And it's time for this shit to stop. Word to you. Word to Boxing USA and those leading it. You're soon to be gone. I know almost all of you. And you're soon to be gone. You better be standing up with Kamala Harris flags and running down the street and putting pantyhose on. Because if Trump gets in office, you're gone. I'll see to that. No more brownie baking classes for the boys in Boxing USA. It's going to change into creating strong men for the future. Strong, good, decent, moral, ethical men and young ladies to be wonderful, equal women. News flash to you, all you motherfuckers. This is coming to an end. This is coming to an end. You're going after our children. In Boxing USA, you've been at the forefront of it. You cocksuckers, and every one of you guys that I respect, you guys that I've known for 50 fucking years, that are still hung up in that thing, and you ain't standing up, and you ain't stopped it, and you're not voicing dissent, and you're not standing, your ass is going out with them. No more. The dividing line's up. No more bullshit. No more, no more, no more, no more. Watch. If you don't think that President Trump will not specifically back me after I worked on his transition team in 2016, after I worked so diligently with his campaign, you got another thing coming, because Trump loves real men. And he would like to see some winners too. See, that's what real men like. They don't like consolation trophies, participation trophies. They like winners. So get your shit together in the fucking boxing community. Be warned. And that goes to the rest of you jackasses. This boy sitting here in my house and 8 others like him are going to be gunning for you jackasses that have been sitting over there trying to get medals so you can go home and make fucking TV commercials to enrich your pockets, not giving a shit about the care or concern of anybody else's kid. And the parents, you're right along with it. And I'm telling you, you are bringing your children into a world of fucking trouble when it comes to these boxers. Because we're going to be aiming for you. We're going to be gunning for you. Would-be trainer out there, Yeah, I may be forgetful. Yeah, I maybe done lost it. Yeah, I may be not the greatest guy in the world, but there ain't nothing that'll stop on the training end demolishing the hell out of you, your fighter, and your team, you candy asses. You should be ashamed of your fucking selves if you're participating in this filth.